Hi guys, today we are going to be sharing with you another example of how we have helped a client recently, and I've got Thuy Nguyen here with us, one of our amazing mortgage brokers. So you've had a lot on your plate lately, Thuy, and helping a lot of people, which is great. Can you share with us an example of someone that you've worked with recently and how you've been able to help them?
Yes, a client of mine referred her daughter to me just as an introduction and also to help her daughter with advice around getting herself loan ready. And when we sat down, I gathered all the information. So the client is single, in her 20s,
Yep.
just started a full-time job, has a little bit of savings behind her. Like, just wanted to know what she's able to do and what she needed to do to get to that next level, because her goal was to buy her first home. So we sat down, I looked at her portfolio, looked at her savings position and income position, gave her some advice around that, and then essentially looked at some options for her, buying an established property versus a house and land package. And we talked about the grant and what she's eligible for. And it turns out that something that where she initially thought that she would just come in for conversation, turned out to be something that she could actually pursue straight away. So she went out, bought a block of land, and we're going to settle on that on Friday. And then the next stage was for her to build. So she's going to be a first home owner.
Fantastic.
At the age of 25.
That's great. So how much coaching and support were you able to give her throughout that process? Because buying your first house can be daunting and overwhelming. Yes. Like, how much support and coaching were you able to help her with?
Initially it was a lot because it's brand new. This is what we do, finance, but the lingo, helping them understand the terminologies that the banks use, because I love the educational piece, and I do believe that everyone needs to know what they're doing and understand the loan process. So it wasn't a bombardment of information, but it was a step-by-step process. So just an overview of what needs to be done, and then once one item was ticked off, the next stage was addressed, so that she knew step by step what the process was.
And I guess, given that she came to have an initial chat with you, which wasn't supposed to go anywhere really, or she didn't necessarily think she was ready to actually be able to buy her first home, and then actually find out that she was ready to buy her first home, and then to actually be able to action that and start looking to, she's building, is she?
Yes,
building her first home. What's the emotional journey that she's gone on? She must be over the moon.
Over the moon. She took photos of the block of land, sent it through to me, and I celebrated in that joy as well. So I think it's a sense of accomplishment. She didn't get actually any help from her parents because she wanted to do this on her own. So we waited just a little bit longer for her savings. And building was just perfect for her, because that extra time in getting the build contract together allowed her to do that extra bit of savings, so she didn't have to ask mum and dad for the money, because she's a really independent girl and wanted to do it on her own, and we were able to help her.
That's
achieve
awesome.
That goal.
Oh, thanks for sharing that, Thuy.
You're welcome.
So I guess if you're a first home buyer, or really just thinking, can you get into the market, whether you think you're ready or whether you don't think you're ready, but it is a goal that you have, we'd love to be able to sit down with you and just put a plan in place and just tell you what you need to do to be able to achieve your dream. So definitely something that we get a lot of satisfaction out of, helping people get into their first home.
Yes.
So thanks for listening. We'll be back next time with another example of how we can help our clients. Bye.
Bye.